Rebrand.
There you go.
I don't think I can even like wish bad on people anymore. And like, even when I do, I'm like, I don't really like that. But it's because a long time
like,
ago.
Your mom's a whore.
Oh, sometimes your mom is a whore, bitch. Okay.
I mean, is it true? Like,
Exactly. Sometimes you's a whore and your mama's a whore. Okay. Hello, everyone.
What's up, guys?
Welcome back to the motherfucking #1 comedy podcast about mental health.
period.
Hell yeah, me and Jules are fucking snuggling up right now. If you are watching on the YouTube, and if you are not, please go over to our YouTube and check us out on Mental Chillness. You can see full video content, and you can see our amazing guest that we have on today.
Hi, guys.
We have a moment with A. We have Akelee, who's in the house. And if you're an OG, and if you know that this was the main motivator of this podcast.
Oh
so
my gosh.
You know she had to come back. You know she had to make an appearance. But everybody, welcome back to Mental Chillness. Akelee, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. I don't know who to talk to, and it's like I don't know what to do.
You don't have to even look at the camera. Just look at us. It's fine.
Look at us, for sure.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yay! And if you guys are watching and you've noticed that our studio is different, shout out to IDF.
Yes.
Shout out to Independent Dream Factory.
Yes.
If you really do stay with us, you know what this is, you know where this is, and you know who runs it. It's Don, one of our old former guests of the pod.
Yes.
So Akelee actually records here. Akelee actually put us onto Don.
Yeah.
So the beauty of connection, honestly.
Yes, I love the IDF boys. That's why I call them IDF boys.
Yes.
Don, Herman, and Don. They're amazing.
Yes, and if you are like in Orlando and you are looking for like a space to host your events, to record, to photo shoot, to do anything, they got indoor spaces, outdoor spaces.
Yes.
They got literally like all your needs. So hit up Independent Dream Factory for all of like your, spaces inquiries.
For sure. And to record podcasts.
Yes, exactly.
Mama with that.
Well, I mean, like, hopefully, like, one day we will have our own studio,
Yeah.
like, we'll be able to, like, actually rep a stew, but, like...
Rep a stew?
But, like, for right now, the stew is my living room.
And that's okay.
Exactly. Bitch, the day that we make it out of my living room, bitch, like, we're throwing a full party, and every single one of you is invited.
For sure. In the little studio. Like, bam,
Yes.
But anyways, guys, how we doing? Are we feeling mentally ill or mentally chill?
Akelee, how you doing?
I'm feeling mentally chill.
Yes.
I was telling my anxiety accountability partner. I have an anxiety accountability partner.
I love
What is that? How does that work?
Well, I'm a part of this anxiety group. It's called Anxious About Nothing.
Did you know that there was an anxiety group? Bitch, because I did not. What?
So, yeah, last year we were all like, okay, we should have, like, accountability partners. So we all, like, paired up. So, yeah, we check in on each other every month. And I was telling her that, like, I feel like my life is going so well right now that I'm feeling like, we're waiting for the ball to drop.
Yeah.
And she told me, and it's been sticking with me, it's just, like, ride the wave.
Yes,
So
because
I'm,
life
like,
is
riding
wavy.
this wave, and I'm good.
Hell
We
yeah.
are mentally chill.
Amen.
Let's go. How you doing, Shadi?
I feel like I'm a little mixture of both. Like, I just keep, like, feeling good for a long amount of time, and then once again, something just happens. But I feel like it hasn't made me mentally ill or mentally, like, angry. Just, I need a lot more time to ground myself, which is a lot more alone time, which is okay. So I've been a little bit of both. I'm a little toxic, but it's okay.
She said I'm a little toxic or whatever.
What about you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty chill. We were so hyped in our recording with Akelee for her podcast.
No, we
I feel like we really like calmed down just a little bit because we had to. So bitches, if you're watching, you know that we switched it up. We have our laptop and our mics right in front of us. So we're trying to switch like up the sound so that we can provide you guys with like the best audio and the best video content. But like shout out to you guys for literally sticking with us through all of it, because bitch, when I edit, I'd be like, yo, I don't even want to post like 75% of all of this because it sounds like shit. But not like because it sounds like shit, but it's because it doesn't sound like how I envision it to be perfect in my mind, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to say thank you guys for always just like sticking with us through all of the developmental stages of this podcast. Some episodes we sound great, some episodes we sound like shit, but we're still here regardless.
It's the beauty of the journey.
Exactly.
For sure.
So I feel like we all are very chill.
Yeah.
Very, very chill. I was very excited to record this episode, and as always, when I do the outlines, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with me? And what is going on with the guests? And then let's talk about it. So I'm at home like, what's going on with Akelee? And I go on her fucking social media, just to have a feel. This bitch ain't got nothing on it. And I'm like, okay, so we're in a rebranding phase.
That's so funny to me.
Like, I literally was about to text you too, and I was like, you know what? Let me not text. Let me just go on social media to see. And I was like, maybe I do have to text her.
She's like, so, tell me your last three
It's
biggest
literally
events.
empty.
I know, but I feel like, okay, bitch. I feel like whether you actually have a brand or not, rebranding is so important.
Yeah.
Like, as a person, you need to, like, have you ever seen that meme where it's, like, me having a meeting with my other personalities because we're having a rebranding? That's literally how I feel. And I think it's so important because you are always growing and evolving. And so your ideologies, like, your everything has to, like, go along with, like, the waves at which you are constantly, like, moving towards. And, like, so I think it's, like, really fun to have a rebranding episode because I feel like I rebrand myself every 3 seconds. And then when I was younger, I would literally change my room every fucking, like, month or something. Like, my sister's always like, why the fuck are you always changing your room? And it's, like, because, like, as I change, I need there to be visible changes within my life, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. And so I'm always like, this bed is going over here now.
Yeah.
And I'm a new person. Like,
I am.
Exactly.
I love that. Even with your room.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, your room is, like, your most sacred space.
Yeah,
It's your room.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I need to change my bed.
Do you guys believe in feng shui? Or, like, just the way that you set up your house or no?
What is feng shui?
Oh, bitch, just some Asian shit. So feng shui is basically like the vibe of your house. So like they believe that there's like certain energy for where you place everything and and how the room should look. So like you shouldn't ever place your bed like blocking the door or the window or some shit like that. Or like you should place your sofa and your table and whatever in a space. Like basically thinking of your living spaces intentionally. So that's what feng shui is. So, like, that's why I think I always change my room or my house. It's because, like, I need to fix, like, the vibe. I need to know that it's, like, fit. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Some people, like, they don't believe in feng shui, but they believe that, like, when you sleep with your bed facing the door, that, like, somebody, like a spirit, can pull your leg.
Don't say
out.
that. Don't say
like,
that.
Like shit like that.
Look at me. And that's crazy that you
No,
guys
we're not with it.
bring that up.
No, I got a sensitive spirit. I'm gonna go home and change the bed.
I feel like for me, I just do like to myself. I'm like, ooh, need to change, dye my hair. Like
hair too.
Need to change, get a new
tattoo.
piercing, get a tattoo.
Get a piercing.
Like that's what I'm.
It makes me feel more in control.
Ooh, yeah.
That's what it is. It's like, okay, this feels.
But that's basically all it is. Is when you. I don't know how you are, but I clean as like a. When I clean, my world is all right again. Like literally,
literally, bitch. Candle at the end.
Yes, bitch. Like when I'm having a fucking day, I'll be at work and all I'm thinking about is like I cannot wait to go home and clean. I cannot wait to go home and vacuum at 3 a.m. so that I can fuck up my neighbor's night.
At
like
3 a.m.
Like no, like when I used to live in an apartment, dog, I used to vacuum at 2 a.m. and I'd be like, does anybody mind? I'm like, if they mind, they'll tell me, right? They'll knock.
Yeah.
But like, I really wouldn't even think about how it's disturbing other people until I'm doing it because in my mind I'm like, I need to clean. I don't give a fuck what's happening right now. I need to clean because that's the only way that I can get back control.
Mm-hmm.
And I like heard it from other like studies and shit that it's like that's why people resort to like cleaning or like whatever it is because it's the one thing that it's within your control that you can fix.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes sense. Like
It does.
me being a control freak and everything, you know.
You gotta find what works for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like I really wanted to ask you one, what is the well, I mean, we kind of already talked about this on your podcast. So, like, go over to A Moment in A, baby. Check out our episode. But I do wanna talk about basically why you're rebranding, and then along with that, I want to know about your process of digging deeper within your purpose, because I'm assuming that the reason why you're rebranding is that it has to do with you aligning yourself to what you are now, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what has been like your journey of that word, your process of basically like, bitch, this is who I am now, and this is what my brand is gonna be, this is how my podcast is gonna be, then this is how my life is gonna be. Like, what is your whole entire process of redoing the thing?
That's a lot.
I know. So I'm giving you like the space to talk.
Okay, so I think that like, and maybe Jules can identify with this as like believers and everything. I feel like when you're like a baby Christian, let's say like you're a baby Christian, so you really rely on God a lot. You rely on him a lot for like guidance and like purpose and for like meaning and like for everything. But then you start to grow. You know, it's like, okay, God, like I understand what you want from me. I understand what is expected of me. Like I get it. So then it's like, okay, maybe I can pull away a little bit. And not in like an unhealthy way of like, oh, I don't need God anymore, but in a way of like, he's equipped me with what I need to know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, so now I'm spreading my wings.
Yes. So I feel like from 2019, and it's just different versions of Akelee. Like 2019, I was still married when I started A Moment with Day. Isn't it? It's crazy every time I say it. It's crazy every time I say it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was still married when I started A Moment with Day. And then season 2, I was separated, you know, so I'm like this completely different person. I'm trying to figure out life again, all of this stuff. And then fast forward to who I am now, it's like, I am not the same person.
Like, at all.
Not even like the slightest. So my content is different. The things that I want to talk about is different. But how am I going to like bring out who I am if other people are used to who I was?
Ooh.
You know?
That's such a good fucking point.
Because like people will always remember who you were. Which is like fine, I get that, but that's not who I am anymore. So you got to get with the program.
Yeah.
Like, what you want?
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't
God.
want to talk about candid conversations anymore. I want to talk about abortions. I want to talk about DeSantis.
Exactly.
I want to talk about this insane
DeSantis.
housing crisis that we're in. Like
inflation. What
yeah.
the fuck?
That's the shit that
Toilet
matters.
paper is
to me.
like $18.
Yeah.
Bro, like
what
gallon
are
of
you
milk
talking
is
about?
like $4.
$18 for a
I
pack.
bought 18 brown eggs the other day for like $7.
I can't even fucking choose organic no more. I literally cannot even give a fuck about organic within these conditions of capitalism.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot.
You just eat your eggs.
Yeah.
For real. Like, you think I'm looking
I
at
just
farm
want
raised,
protein.
bitch? Farm raised for $3 more? Are you kidding me? And it's still gonna fill me up the same.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. You know what I actually heard recently that I thought was such a good point, and I thought of it just now that you're talking about how, like, I'm a different person now, right? Somebody said, somebody being Jay Shetty, another podcast that I listened to, but basically, he was saying something along the line of, you should communicate to your partner, to whoever it is that you're around and whatever. You should be communicating your changes while you're going through it, and not update them when you're done with the process.
Yeah.
Because then you're keeping them in the dark while you're going through all of this shit, and then you expect them to be caught on the minute that you're done, and then you're out of your shit, and you're like, okay, but why aren't you with the program when you didn't include them in the program?
Didn't tell them anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was like a really good point that I had never really thought of before, only because I've been out of like partnership for a long time, so all I've ever had to really do is think about me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then, like, I thought about it and I'm like, you're right, because if I were to just start changing and I don't tell my friends, how am I going to have the same friends when I'm done changing?
Yeah.
Because, like, they think that I'm the same and I'm not, and then I want them to be where I am, but they're not. But it's because we weren't in the conversation.
Yeah, we never
You know?
even shared that with them.
Yeah.
That makes a good point. So I'm going to have a solo episode. And
Ooh,
I will talk
yes.
about my entire change. Because that's a really good point.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
especially because you have, like, an audience, I think it gives, like, even a more of, like, a relatable aspect of, like, people are already here for you, so they want to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, like, they're gonna be with you no matter what, but, like, they want to be included.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, you don't gotta tell them your life, but you do have, like, an audience now who's interested in what you're doing. You know, so you don't gotta move all silent.
You know.
You can have supporters, you know?
Exactly, for real.
That makes a really good point. I'm going to do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to, yeah, it'll be great.
Hell yeah. So I do want to ask, how do you find, like, a balance, right, between self-fulfillment and then fulfilling your purpose of what you're putting out for it to serve others? Like, what is how do you stand in the middle of it and be like, I want to create for myself, I want to create things that I like, things that align with me, but I also want it to serve other people without sacrificing my own authenticity to provide the shit for the people? The shit.
I think for me, it falls under an umbrella. You know, I always think, and I know that, like, God put us all on the earth to serve a purpose.
Mhm.
We all have a purpose. Like, Joy's purpose is this. Khan's purpose is this. Akeelee's purpose is this. And I always knew, like, that my purpose was to serve people.
Uh-huh.
Like, community service, my podcast is all, that's service. Like, you're serving. So whether it's like, whatever it looks like, I know that I'm serving.
Mhm.
So even with, like, my podcast.
Serving.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Period. So even with, like, my podcast, I don't typically, like, have that feeling of, like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
Because I know that I am. But my question, it comes as, like, is this the right content that I should be putting out? Like, is this the way that I'm supposed to be serving?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So, like, was there any fear of you being like, oh my God, like, what if? Because I'm an overthinker and I people please sometimes too much. Was there any fear of you, like, deleting all your content on your Instagram of, like, oh wow, people are gonna think, like, a moment with A, like, it's a moment with Bye. like, was there
The moment is over.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, was there any fear of you losing some of, like, you know, the community that you built?
I think yes. And I think I didn't realize it until now, like, that we're talking about it. Because when I first made the decision, and maybe I should think about my supporters more. I probably should think. I'm so serious, and that probably sounds bad.
Yeah.
No,
like,
but they understand.
Exactly.
They're there for you,
Yeah,
so they
like,
understand that you're going through your shit. So they'll never, like, question it. You know what I'm saying? The real ones
Yeah.
stay. The real ones
100%.
know that you're
Amen.
doing a rebranding.
But I promise you, when I'm making these decisions, I don't think about my platform that one time. And probably that's not the best way to go about doing these things, now that I'm sitting here talking about it, because I always feel like the listeners will come.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna be
Yeah.
there.
And
And
you
there's
know,
more
but
conversations
that's
on
the
way.
thing, and even if the ones that left, like, just gave more of a space for the ones to come, because
Yeah.
like because you are evolving, and this is, I think this goes for any form of art and anything that you're doing, right? Like, if you truly always care about, like, who is gonna, if you're gonna have an audience, then you're really not creating for 100% the purpose of creating. You're like, it's the same thing as, like, the debate of being authentic on social media and then showing what you know the audience will like.
Mhm.
Or, like, for any content creator at all, right? Sometimes when you watch stuff, you know that they're just doing everything that's trending right now. You know that there's, you know, like the next trend is like they have a new video for the next trend and the next trend and the next trend. And then like that's cool and all, but for me personally, I think it's so much cooler, like so much cooler when I find somebody and they're just doing whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Like, and that gives me more of an instinct to continue to follow them than to because eventually I'm gonna hop off these trends.
Yeah.
And so are they.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, if you don't have like the foundation of content to back up who you are, then you will go away just like the trends.
Yeah. Because
You know?
trends come and go. We see it. They come and they go.
Yeah.
I think my fear that I've realized I have since I've been away for what I perceive is so long. It really has been like, I think I recorded an episode last month, but before that I hadn't recorded since like July.
Damn, that
last
is so
year.
long.
It's been so long, and now that I'm like trying to, you know, get back into it, it's like, damn, where do I fit in now? Like, is this still my community? Because like, it's like every time I go on Instagram, like somebody else is like starting a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've had to check within myself this morning. It's like, recently, like a year ago, when someone starts a new podcast, I'm like, oh, like that's lit for them. Let me reach out and see if they like, you know.
Mhm.
But now it's like it's like, damn, like somebody else is starting a podcast, like,
Yeah.
and I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
because that's not me.
You know what I think it is? When you're in the shit and you're working towards what you call a success, you have a different feeling.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the success, you have a different feeling because now your fear is no longer achieving the success, it's how to continue it.
Maintain
And how
it,
to
one up
maintain
it.
it. And I think that's why you feel the way that you feel, is because
It is.
when you were a year ago, I feel like you were still identifying as like, I have this thing, but I'm still kind of like in the beginning of it.
Mhm.
And that's why you were hyping everybody else up, because they were kind of in the same boat as you. But I feel like now that you have gone into, this is your year 4,
Mm-hmm.
so it's almost like you know you have a foundation. Like you no longer.
It's just like
It's like
that
another layer of
self-doubt.
fear,
It's
bro.
like that
It is.
self-sabotage that we do to ourselves.
It is, and it's like a different fear that I didn't even know was even going to have to be a fear.
Mhm.
I'm still thinking about, okay, like I do, I did, I don't.
Yeah.
That was
Oh.
a very prime time for a moment with it.
Mhm.
Like that finale is still my most listened to finale because
Yeah.
people are nosy. They want to know what happened in my
Mhm.
marriage.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of people tuned in for that, and it's like, okay, Akelee, how do you one up that?
Yeah.
Like, your life isn't that exciting.
That is not the truth. Girl just literally went to Africa.
I did.
Her life is not
Girl
exciting.
finna be running a Wawa. I'm so sorry, what?
Not only that, next one, ready? Tennessee in March. Thank you.
Stop telling these people I
But her life is not exciting.
Akeelee's like, I told this shit to the
Listen.
wrong people, bitch.
But that's how it feels sometimes. It's
Yeah.
like, how do I one up my greatness?
Exactly. But I feel like for me, the thing that I started to really install in my life is just seeing the good in things. Even if
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, that guy just cut me off. I'm like, maybe he's having a bad
Yeah,
day.
maybe he got somewhere to go.
Maybe he's late to work. Because I'd be the first one, like, and then I'm like, sometimes I catch myself, even if it's just as little as road rage, I catch myself saying or wishing bad on people, and I'm like, that didn't even feel good.
It does, yeah.
I'm
I
like,
get it.
I'm like, stop, and I try to like rebrand. Amen.
Yeah.
Rebrand.
There we go.
I don't think I can even like wish bad on people anymore. And like, even when I do, I'm like, "Ugh, I don't really like that. But it's because
For
a
me,
long
it's road rage. I'm
time
like,
ago.
your mom's a whore.
Oh, sometimes your mom is a whore, bitch. Okay.
I mean, is it true?
Like,
Like,
Exactly. Sometimes you's a whore and your mama's a whore. Okay. And that's how life be working sometimes.
Hey.
But sometimes I'm a whore.
I don't make the rules. Nah, I'm a whore too.
No, but like I think that like a long time ago, I committed to knowing that words are important and to knowing that what I'm a very like, I say what I mean and I don't say what I don't mean since I was like little. I've never liked to lie and I've never liked to gossip, and when I did those things, I were really trying to blend into people. I remember one very specific moment. I was in 9th grade. I was at my boyfriend's at that time like birthday dinner. I was sitting in between my boyfriend and our best friend, and they were like talking shit about somebody, and I remember saying like, it's not really like my thing, I don't really want to talk bad about whatever. And I remember them giving me like a what a fucking prude type of like
Yeah, I love
reaction,
that for
right?
you.
But like I've been like that since I was little,
Which
like, since I was young.
I truly love that, because for me it was like my mom would always encourage me to lie. my mom would be like, hey, like, you know, this person's coming, this is what we were doing, this is how we were. So from a young age, they were like, hey, lying's okay. So I grew up being an adult, being a friend, being that lying
because some
friend,
adults teach you that white lie is like, you know, like white lie isn't like
a lie.
exactly because
not giving all the details.
exactly.
Yeah. You hiding stuff out.
Lie. Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
you call a spade a spade.
Yeah, for sure. And that's I feel like growing up now and being like, ooh, well, I don't want to be lied to, so why would I lie to someone else? You know, but
I don't want people wishing bad things on me, so why would I wish bad things on someone else?
Even if it's just because you cut me off, I'm sorry, sir. Your mom is not a whore. I promise.
He's like, no, she is.
Actually,
you right.
You might be right.
I'm crying.
No,
you right, bitch. You right. Shit.
No,
That's so funny.
So I want to know. I feel like we spoke about this before, but when you came out first, when you first ever came out with your podcast, how did you come up with the name? Like, what triggered the
my
name?
ex-husband gave me my name for my podcast.
Oh, he gave you at least one thing.
For one thing.
Yeah, like literally. I told this in my documentary, because somebody, Shanti, had asked me that question.
This bitch is like, my life is not that exciting.
Yeah.
And I just shot a documentary, bitch! Excuse me. I'm sorry I'm screaming so much at this episode. The energy is just there, okay?
But she asked me, like, and I told the story, like, when because, okay, I always tell the story about how God, like, told me that I need to start a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And this was when, like, nobody was, like, I didn't even know what a podcast was.
I remember when you told me that you had a podcast, I was like, wow, and you were like, yeah, we have the app on iPhone. I was like, we do?
Like, literally, yeah,
yeah.
It was, like, learning a whole new world. And at the time, I tried to, like, start it with somebody else that was into, like, journalism like me, but it ended up not working out. Because I feel like your purpose is your purpose. Mm-hmm. Like, this was meant to be shared, mental chillness. Whereas a moment with it was mine.
Yeah.
So it didn't work out.
Even with the name, bitch, you know it's
your
yours. The fuck?
A moment with one A. Thank you.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
So, like, a year had gone by, and I didn't start it with the other person because it didn't work out. So I'm sitting on the couch one day. My ex and I, we were very much at the end of, like, we didn't know that we were at the end, but you know, women always leave before they leave. Yeah. So I had already kind of checked out.
That's fucked up.
And
I don't like that. Because I don't like feeling it. That's
know. Yeah, so I was like, I'm going to start, like, my podcast. So he looks at me, he goes, a Moment with A. And that's how Moment with A came about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's awesome. Mental chillness is from Tumblr, baby. True to the core. Mental chillness is from Tumblr.
Like, you saw the name and you just loved it?
Deadass. I was scrolling one day, and there was just one text post that said mental chillness. And then in my mind, that's when I immediately came up with Mental Chillness, a comedy podcast about living with mental illness and working towards mental chillness. And that was when I texted Jules, hey, do you want to start a podcast with me? I have a name. I have everything. Like, everything.
You were meant to see that.
Yeah, it deadass. It came from Tumblr.
Like, that's
and
amazing.
Our entire Instagram is memes from Tumblr. Like, I'm true to my brand, bitch.
Yeah. Like, Tumblr is that girl.
Exactly.
I need to get back on Tumblr because in high school or like middle school,
everybody had a little freak out when Elon bought Twitter and they all went back to Tumblr. And I'm like, no, get out, go, go. Is
that really what happened?
Yeah, like when Elon Musk like bought Twitter. Everybody and my mother just started like freaking out and whatever, and they all started like going back to like different spaces. And that was literally when everyone went back on Tumblr, and then like the OG Tumblr users were all like, "Oh my god, act weird," so they know that. So they don't want to come here. And I'm like, "Bitch, I know."
Bro, all I can think.
Let me find out you to get back on Tumblr.
Come, bitch.
Back on the Tumblr.
Get back on there. The porn is still there. I don't care what you think. The porn is still there, baby.
I just logged into my old Tumblr from like middle school, and it's all girls dry humping each other, and I'm like, Jules,
that's what Twitter is, you know?
I haven't been on Twitter since.
I haven't been on Twitter since high school, and you know why I deleted my Twitter? Because my fucking ex-boyfriend was so fucking annoying, fucking going on to all of my messages and whatever, digging up my past and shit, and I was like, I'm just gonna get rid of all of the evidence. Delete. No, literally, that's why I don't use like social media, because when I was in high school, I dated this guy he was my high school sweetheart, so I dated him from high school until we graduated, and literally, like, all of my learned toxic whatever the fuck in that time was because of him. Because he was, like, the one that was doing it to me. And I was like, I'm gonna retaliate. And I'm gonna go through your shit. But it literally starts with him, like, why are you talking to this guy like this on Tumblr, on Twitter, or whatever the fuck? And I'm like, bro, we're literally friends.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
I feel like Twitter was such a toxic place. Like, that's where people would be like, oh, well, my oomph likes one of my bestest friends, and it was just like too toxic.
I do want to go back to oomph though.
I love that.
I do want to oomph again.
Getting up off of that.
You know what's crazy?
One of my followers.
Literally 2 weeks ago, I was with my coworkers and I was like, do people still use oomph on Twitter? Because I still want to use oomph. Now I'm just referring to like all you fuck bitches. Oomph.
Oomph.
My oomph.
I don't even want to oomph. Keep your following over there. I don't want none of that.
I do have a question.
Okay.
And I feel like this applies to, again, everybody in any situation.
Yeah.
Because you are so long in this process, how do you deal or work it out within yourself with your own mistakes? Like, how do you treat yourself when you make a mistake, when you create something that you don't like, when you know that something could have gone one way but it went another? Like, how do you treat yourself? Like, are you nice? Are you fucking... And throughout the years, what have you found that is the best way to treat yourself when you do make mistakes?
So, in the past, I used to be, like, just super hard on myself. Like, Akelee, you should have known better. Even, like, coming out of my marriage, you should have known better. You should have made better decisions. Like, you are a responsible adult. How did you end up in this situation? Just, like, all of this, like, negative stuff, you know? But now, as a, you know, I think I...
A more adult.
I would like to think I was level-headed. 100%. I really, honestly, I take naps. Like, I'm not even joking.
Did we not talk about it?
Like, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, or if I'm feeling like, okay, this is not going out how I expected it to be, I'm gonna go to sleep.
I love this. My top 2 favorite answers to how do you deal with your shit is 1, I take a poop, and 2, I take a nap.
Because I'm telling you, something happens in your sleep, and then you wake up and you're like, okay, let me go back to it. And then sometimes when I go back, I have a completely different vision.
Yeah. New ideas are coming.
It's like, you know, I didn't want to do that anymore. Let me just start from scratch.
Maybe I just need
This
some
is
rest.
so funny. So the answer is give it time, but her time is I'm going to sleep, bitch.
I'm going to go to sleep. Or I'm going to take my time to just, like, process how I'm feeling. I just don't feel like there's just a rush. Like, there's not a rush anymore. You know, like...
I don't think there ever was a rush.
I don't know why we're conditioned to think that there is. Like, I have to have
even
this
now,
at this time.
Like, no, not at all. Like, I gave myself 3 years for this podcast, right? Not like I'm gonna quit it after 3 years, but like I gave myself like 3 years. I'm gonna put so much and my all into it, right? And then like as I go, I'm like, oh shit, I'm literally putting my all into it now, but like there needs to be more and more and more, and so I can't just cap it
at 3 years.
Yeah, like I need to like continuously like putting my all into it. And I think I gave myself the 3-year mark, and that was like way in the beginning because it felt really overwhelming. And I think I gave myself the 3-year just to tell myself that like, hey, if after 3 years and you still feel like this, then maybe you can reconsider and whatever. But if after 3 years and you don't feel like this and you feel like you're in a better space where you can grow and progress, we're gonna take it from there. Yeah. But I truly think I gave myself 3 years so that I have like a timeline of like okay, like there's a way out. We're not just in it forever, you know. But I think it's important to again like be realistic, you know, with what's going on right now, how you can adjust yourself, your life, and how you can be more accepting that you don't have what you want, you know. But taking a nap,
I'm telling you, it's my favorite thing. Like, even not even just in a podcast, and just period. Like, if I have a conflict with someone, instead of just, like, immediately, this is how I feel. No, I'm going to go sleep first. Let me just take a minute.
No, literally, that is, like, and it's just so refreshing. Like, you wake up with a new everything.
Reset.
It really
like
is.
Like a full reset.
Because one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sleep and I'm going to eat something. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna sleep.
I'm gonna eat for sure. I'm gonna eat to sleep. I'm gonna eat to get the itis, then sleep.
Yeah, I'll figure everything out when I wake up.
Exactly.
And that's how it is. Like, if I don't feel like doing something, I'm not doing it. Because it's not even gonna be good.
That part.
That's what I think. Okay, I think that there needs to be like a common ground of hustle culture and not hustle culture. Rest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think... Okay, so, like, the number one opinion about Gen Z or one of the number one opinion about Gen Z that like boomers and everybody else has is that we don't want to work, right? But like the misconception is that we don't want to work, but the truth is that we don't want to slave away all of our energies and beings like you did, so that to make it work, like, or whatever it is, because we're in a different time now. We have more resources, we have more like openings and avenues of directions of things, you know what I'm saying? And so it's not that we don't want to work, it's that we just don't want to be in a place of energy draining to make it to how you made it, you know what I'm saying? And so there has to be a balance between both. Like, you can't just quit fucking hustling. You can't. You can't just sit here and fucking wish and manifest whatever the fuck without the work, because the work is what puts you in the position.
One thing I can really praise Gen Z for is that before, I mean, at least I feel like I'm kind of millennial, kind of Gen Z, so I don't really know, but I feel like one thing that they really showed was like, if this makes you happy, you can definitely start making money off of it. You know what I mean? Because before it was like people were like, oh, I have to go to college. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I feel like Gen Z really opened the eyes to everybody and everybody around them that like, hey, if this makes you happy, try to make money off of it. 16-year-olds are fucking millionaires now. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think boomers are just jealous because although the millennials may have started it, you guys have really grasped the concept of, if I'm not happy here, I'm leaving.
I don't even think they're jealous, to be honest. I think that they really cannot wrap their head around like the actual concept of what we're doing. Like, I truly don't think that they're jealous. I don't think that they understand.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I'm saying? Like I have spoken with many people in many different ages and whatever that share so many different kinds of like opinions, right? Regarding like their stance on how they feel about shit and people and whatever. But like a lot of them speaks like they don't fully understand everyone's condition. Like a lot of them speak like it's in a very narrow like headspace of, this is how my world worked, and so that's how I know that the world works, and that's how I think you should like live your life, by the way that I know how my world works.
But we're in a completely different world.
Yeah, exactly. And like I just want to say, like, bro, you did all that so we can be this. I don't know why you don't understand that. You did all that so that we don't have to go what you went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe that's where the jealousy comes from. It's like, if I had to suffer, you have to suffer. Too. But like, I do not think that we should live in a world with that mentality, because if I can prevent you from feeling what I felt, why wouldn't I?
I said this, well, I didn't say it, but I had a former podcast episode, and we said that it should get easier as the generations go. Like, if boomers walked, X should fly. Like, and so on, so on. So y'all should be speeding.
Like, but we are, with the fucking advanced technology and all of this shit. Like, the future is here, but it's just not within the people. Like, the people haven't fucking progressed like their mindset and whatever to be with the future.
And you see it in everything, even with like something simple. It's like canceling student debt. Why does it?
I know, like, why do you hate it so much?
Why do you care that I don't have to pay $5 million because I decided to go to college? Just because when you went to college, you had to pay it, but it was also 20 times cheaper than what it is today for me to go to college.
But what I don't understand is millennials being mad about that. Millennials being mad about us not having to pay when
it's not even... Is it millennials? Because I don't think it's... I think we're the ones that's most impacted by student debt.
Yes. But that's why a lot of millennials that have paid their debt have an issue. Because it was almost like they're mad that they couldn't make it to this timeline. To be excused.
You want to know?
Like, you should be grateful that you get here. Like, you should be grateful that you were sustained enough to be able to take care of that. Other people really just aren't. Like, people are gambling with their lives. Like, trying to, like...
People are out here riding it, bro. Like raw dogging that shit.
Like,
literally.
It's a whole thing.
You know what's crazy? You know how I feel? I feel like... The other day I had like this crazy deep meditation. I think I meditated for probably like 35 minutes. And I really had like this epiphany and kind of like, you know when you have like, oh my God, I felt like I've done this before. This has happened before.
Deja vu.
I feel like that's our self, I feel like these are our bodies, and our soul has lived in multiple different people. You know what I mean? So whatever I die, my soul, and then it's like, okay, start all over. And like something else or someone
Buddha.
else. You know what I mean? So I feel like whenever I have those deja vus and stuff, it's like my past self crossing paths because it has happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just me being like, oh shit. And then me realizing like, I don't know. I know it's so off topic.
You know
but
what's
it's
wild?
like,
So the
feel-
way that you feel like that, I feel not that I have lived a million lives, but I feel that when things happen to me or whatever things happen to me that I can't explain, it's being passed down from my mom and everyone from my ancestors. Like, truly. Because, like, there are things that I cannot explain within myself, why I am the way that I am, why I fear what I fear, and all of this shit. And I know that it's, like, it has to be generational fucking passed on. Like,
sure.
it has to be, like, because, like, dude, if you think about the birthing process, it's a very intimate fucking process.
Yeah.
You are in your
In
mom's.
this womb.
Exactly. So, like, in the same way that, like, they tell you that you shouldn't drink and you shouldn't do this and that when you have a baby, why don't you think that your fucking emotions and
That's
your fucking
good.
everything is gonna be passed down too? I'm
It
being
is.
fucking like, I'm literally
Created
being
in you.
cradled within all of the shit that you're holding within yourself. I'm
That's
so close to your
blood,
heart.
vessels,
I'm within your
everything.
guts, which is directly linked to your brain. Why don't you think that is passed on to me? Like, why did, like, I know that my depression comes from my childhood, comes from moving and being bullied, all of this shit, but I know that the way that I take my depression, the way that I deal with it, and the way that I whatever, is from watching my mom being so sad. Is from watching my mom feel things and all of this different shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I really do think that, like, shit is passed down.
100%.
And that's why you have to work it out, like, within your family and all of this shit, because then it's explained. Like, you're not in the dark.
Yeah.
And then you get to know your mom, and then you're like, oh, fuck, that's why I feel the way that I feel.
And it's crazy.
And you could have told me this when I
It's
was
generational
7.
trauma.
It's
Like,
Yeah.
so crazy. I don't know. Life has just been. I see everything as such. Like, tomorrow is literally not promised. Like, and that's why I feel like I have so much compassion for myself, because before I would be like, oh, well, you're not doing this and you're not doing that, and this is hard for you, but look how easy it is for them. It's like, I don't know. Life has just been. I just feel so good. That's why
Grateful.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
It's
I
kinda
feel like
fun-
all
it's-
of this has happened before.
it's really funny when
I
like,
literally had an epiphany right now. That's why I was like, oh, I want to talk about it.
sometimes when I record with Jules, I can literally tell, like, she's, like, settling in her shit, and I'm like, it's so weird to watch you, like, literally, like, being in your, like, purpose or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, I'm literally watching her, like, change
But the
as a
thing
person
is,
on recording.
That's amazing.
I can't even imagine me having a +1, not even in a year, 2 years.
Mhm.
Because I'm just so. I don't want to share my fucking space.
Your energy,
Like,
your time.
I can't.
It's a lot
It's
to
so-
give yourself to people.
I love being with my friends and connecting and us talking, and we like compare our past selves, or you know, my friends that are like on the same wavelength as me. It's like, it feels like a dream almost. Like, I'm like, these people are too good to be in my life right now. How is this all happening? How is this all possible? But that's self-sabotage, amen. And I feel like so grateful just to be sitting here and having these conversations. I'm literally just, that's why I wasn't really talking in the beginning, because even just watching you guys connect and talk about things that you guys can both relate on, and we get to just sit here and have the camera rolling and people tune in to what we have to say is like such an epiphany right there. It's
That's
like so,
amazing.
it's such a
Like,
blessing.
You know, people are tuning in. It's not for what we have to say, but it's like what we are saying is what they're saying,
Amen.
and that's why they're so drawn to us. It's like, you don't come here because we have all this fucking meaningful shit that we
No,
have to
for
say.
sure,
You
yeah,
just
you
come
can just
here. You
relate.
just come here to find a space, and what we're saying is how you feel,
Yeah,
and that's why fucking human connection is so fucking important.
it is.
But that's why also rebranding is important.
Amen.
It is.
Because like because you're bro, I literally don't even know who I was 2 weeks ago. Like 2 weeks.
Wow.
And it's literally, I think that when
Preach.
you are so like introspective within your own like process and your own like evolving like, you know, whatever, like you constantly are in a different place. You constantly are, because you have to be in order to catch your old shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like right now, I feel I'm like at a space where I'm like weirdly antisocial, like to the point where I can't even be with my friends. And it's weird, but I don't question it very much, and I'm just kind of like going through with it, and I'm just kind of trusting that my friends will just give me my space, and they are, and I'm like, but like I'm not like sitting here like, no, like I have to like fucking, you know, do what I know that is familiar before to like whatever, like no, like now I'm just fully trusting, like maybe I am growing into a different person. Maybe I don't talk a lot anymore.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And you are, and I can tell you that from knowing and seeing how you treat people, the way you talk to people, the way you handle your alone time. Because before as soon as I was literally leaving, we would be setting up, sorry if this is like telling your business, as soon as we were setting up whatever I'm getting ready to leave, she would already be calling somebody. Like, hey, I just finished recording, what are you doing? Now she's like, I'm going to Publix to go grab some baking shit. Like,
no,
you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just from you being like, oh, hey, well, you know, we just finished, come over. As soon as I'm leaving, she's already like, mind is like somewhere else. She wants to be somewhere else. You know what I mean? And now she's like, oh no, I'm just, my day's off. I'm just gonna just stay here.
I think there's
it's
such
so
beauty.
Comfort.
No,
being
there
able
is.
to just sit with you.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm the coolest person ever.
Exactly,
And
me
convinced
too.
Me that I'm not the shit.
Exactly.
So why would I not want to spend time with me?
Exactly. But before I truly, not that I was like doing it on purpose, but I really was fooling myself because like I really thought that I knew how to be with myself because I can go through a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not really understanding what the day entailed of, right? So like, yeah, I did but I think that I was in a space of separating my own being and my own being to like a partnership, like a romantic partnership. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, I can get through my day by myself because I'm surrounded by everybody else. That's not you. So in my mind, I'm like, I can go through life alone I think that's an okay mindset because it's true. You don't just need your significant other. You need everybody else in your life too. And so I was in a good space where I was like, I can maintain time where I do things by myself and then maintain time where I see friends. And that's why I worked a lot, and then on my free days, I would be like, I can see you, I can see you, I can see you. You know what I'm saying? So like in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty okay. But then I got to another layer of myself, another layer of shit, and then I had to peel that shit back and be like, oh, okay, so now I know that I can set up my whole day, go through it and whatever. But next challenge. Can I go through my day without setting up plans with other people? Can I sit there and find my own hobbies that I like? Can I sit there and enjoy my own company watching this show? Can I sit there the entire day and not think about how sad I am because I don't have somebody here with me? And it was like step by step by step by step by step to now, you know?
Now you're thriving in it.
For you, what's your favorite thing to do, like, by yourself? Like, something that you're like, ooh, I'm off today. I'm going to go do this with myself today.
Netflix
like,
and chill.
Amen.
Yeah.
Like, I love just sitting in my room. I'm going to watch. Right now, I'm really into New Amsterdam.
My brother told me to watch it. I want to start it. He said it's like another Grey's Anatomy.
I know. To me, no. Two completely different. Grey's is Grey's. Like, no. I don't think no medical show can ever be Grey's Anatomy.
No, for sure.
But New Amsterdam is cool. It's cute.
It's cute.
It's, you know. Yeah, so that's
I don't
like
think the
thing.
world was ready for McDreamy and McSteamy when
No,
they came out, bro.
Like,
even though I hate McDreamy, I love McSteamy. Oh, that was my shit.
Have you watched all the way through?
No, because I stopped when McSteamy died, so I stopped at season 8 when Lexi and him died.
I stopped.
Okay, well now I can't watch it.
You need to catch up. It's been out for a decade. Get it together.
You have a lot to catch up on. Don't worry about it.
I think I always stopped, like, maybe, like, right after Christina leaves, somewhere in there, because I was just kind of like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah, but I hated Derek and I hated Meredith. They were my least favorite fucking characters
when
ever.
When you rewatch it, you just pick up on things differently. Like,
yeah.
Derek was selfish.
I'm like, you're toxic,
He's
bitch.
So selfish.
Like,
always expected her to just drop whatever she was doing to tend to him and his.
She's always fucking crying. She's always going through
Meredith
something.
had the most traumatic, fictional story that I've ever experienced, and
nobody was giving her space to process it. Like
Okay, I'm telling you to watch Grey's
She's like,
Anatomy.
okay, you're done.
Yeah.
You're
Damn,
done.
now that I'm like having all these flashbacks of
It's like, let me
I'm
rewatch. Let me
now I remember how much I was so
Yeah.
into it, bro. Like, but in the same way, I watched Gossip Girl, and Gossip Girl boiled my fucking blood the entire time. I was like, how could you be so terrible? How could you be
They're
so
all toxic.
terrible?
But Chuck had the best character development.
Yes,
Chuck Bass,
I love a good character
the
development.
best character
I love
development.
like Zuko in the last Avatar, bitch. Have you seen that?
No, I don't watch
Okay.
that. Yeah, it's
Well, the
okay.
Avatar, the last Airbender, it started with Zuko being like this big bad guy, and then
Yeah.
it shows him like fucking like growing a heart and like fucking making tea for people and caring about girls and shit. And I'm like,
I love that for him.
I'm Zuko. But that's why I like a good character development, because you always somehow identify with that person or whatever, and you're like, I can get there.
Like,
too.
I get why you were so terrible.
Yeah.
It was your trauma.
Exactly. Not Derek though.
Yeah, no, Derek, like, I love the love story, but, like, I understood.
I also hated the love story. I was like, oh, this is the most
why
annoying
Derek
fucking
had
story
to die.
ever.
Like, I get why he had to die.
Yes.
There was no way they could have.
No,
you know,
he
that was
deserved
the
it.
epic love story. Yeah, Grey's Anatomy is a lifestyle. So, yeah, New Amsterdam is good. It's cute, but it's not Greece.
What do you like to do in your alone time now that you
Your
love
favorite
being
thing
alone
to
or
do.
whatever?
No, I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I really do. Lately, I've been hanging out with my really good friend Naisha, because I feel like we're both on the same wavelength. And the thing is, we can literally sit together and we won't talk. So it's just like being in each other's company, which is really like refreshing that I have a friendship like that. But other than that, lately I've been wanting to be outside. So I like to walk trails. I walk Lake Eola, and one is like one lap is like a mile. And I like going out to eat by myself.
Love
So
that
do
for
I.
you.
Like, I went
Yeah.
to as soon as I left the gym, I was like, damn, I'm hungry. I went, stopped at Pee Wee, never been there before, was talking to the guy.
Pee Wee! Not Pee Wee!
Yeah.
Pee Wee!
Oh, Payway.
Payway,
Okay,
Payway.
P-E-I-W-E-I.
Pee
I
Wee! Not Pee Wee!
I went, and as soon as I walked in,
Imagine Pee Wee reached out and was like, bitch, it's Pee Wee! Fucking me!
I went in there, and as soon as I got in, my phone died. So I was actually kind of like, whatever. I get in, I pay, I sit down, and I just like sit out the window, and I'm just like watching. And I sat there for like a good like 30 minutes, and I was like still done with my food. I always eat with my eyes. You have to do that. I'm like, let me get that, and that. I'm in front of it, and I'm like, 2 bites in. I'm like, I'm actually not that hungry.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there and just like with my thoughts, and it was so refreshing. I like eating by myself. Like before, I feel like I always needed that comfort. I needed my phone, TikTok right in front of me, where I'm just like, but now it's just like refreshing.
Do you know? Okay, so I follow Ayurveda, and Ayurveda is a very, very old, like one of the first like medicine system, whatever the fuck that we use, and it's like really big in India and shit. And our Ayurveda is basically just like another system of being, and it focuses on prevention, right? So it focuses on like stuff that you can eat to prevent sickness, how you can be more mindful of this so that you get the most benefit out of that, and blah blah blah. And one of the things that I took away from it, like, and I really like try to practice it a lot on myself, is respecting your time when you're eating. So like it's like it's best to eat without even watching the TV. It's best to eat without looking at your phone. It's best to eat and just sit there and be present with the meal. That way you're really like taking in your meal. You're really taking in like, you know, gratitude for what you have. You're really spending that time with yourself and really allowing your body to like digest without distractions. And so like I try to not watch anything on my phone when I eat, and I try to, like, if I can, not like without music, because like you're really just spending that time to be present with your meal.
Sometimes when after a good long gym sesh, I get in the car and you don't even know, like, I will sometimes not even roll down the windows. I'll be in the heat, no AC, no nothing, and I just want silence. Like, I'll just be driving and I just don't want to hear nothing. Cars, that's fine, but I just want to drive in silence. Because sometimes you just get so overstimulated. You've been around people all day, or even sometimes just being with yourself. I feel like sometimes you're like, oh, it feels so good not to have to talk. So I've been in a lot of those moments.
That's
like
when
that.
I hear the most. Like last night I was texting Jules and I was like, Jules, I don't know what I'm going to talk to y'all about tomorrow. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But I was doing Uber Eats. And that's always like when I'm in my car, maybe I have like my worship music playing. that's when I can hear the
Yeah.
loudest, you know? So I really value solitude.
Girl, when I first started driving, I drove in silence for like 6 months. I didn't start listening to anything until my friends were like, "This is a little weird."
Yeah, they get in the car, they're like,
It's just calm.
Dead ass, like
you
I
don't
just.
have Bluetooth?
But I'm like, I'm weird with like the way that I consume media, and I always have been. Like, I don't know shit about shit like at all. Like, I've never like been absorbed into like pop culture. I've never whatever. So it's almost like I don't do things to set a mood. I go by what the fuck mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in the mood where I want some hype music, I put on some hype music. But if not, then I stay in silence. It's like, it's weird. Like, when I go to work, I have the same fucking album playing every single day because I don't want to have to base every day on a new mood and whatever. I want to set the same mood every day when I go into work.
Yeah.
I want to put myself into the same mindset every day when I go into something. So when I go to the gym, I know what I'm putting on because I know what kind of mood I want to get in. And then when I'm going to work, I know what kind of mood I want to be in. I want to be focused. I want to be like good and whatever. So I put on the same playlist. That way, like, my emotion is never like based off of what I just listened to or whatever. It's kind of weird, but like,
It makes sense though. It's connected.
yeah.
Like, I have my EDM for whenever I'm like working out, but then sometimes I'll just shuffle it and then SZA will play and I'll be like, actually, let me go do some cardio.
Dude, when I first listened to the SZA album, because I listened to it like 3 months after everybody else, I was seeing everybody else rave and I was like, I'm not getting into this right now. We're not doing it. And then I started listening to it. The first song was Kill Bill and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Literally.
I don't want to kill my ex, but like, I'm rooting for you, girl. I'm like, are the girlies okay?
She really did that.
I know, bitch.
She put her whole golden.
She put everything in that album.
No, she really did.
But to wrap up the conversation of your rebrand, I want to know, like, what is the process of your rebranding? Like, what do you do to decide, like, this is what I'm keeping, this is what I'm rebuilding, this is what I'm implementing that's new? Like, how do you do your process of elimination and shit, you know?
When you say in shit and stuff, it just
So
literally
funny.
kills me.
She's
Because it's hilarious. Because what? Like, yo, all this important stuff and shit.
I know.
What's up?
How do you be vulnerable and shit?
And shit. I love it. That's merch right there. And shit.
Oh my god, whatever, and shit.
I think for me, I do like a lot of writing stuff down. Because, like, you can have so much going on in your head.
Mhm.
You know, like, so many ideas and thoughts. I want to do this, I want to do that. But when you actually take the time to sit down and write it out, it becomes, like, tangible. You're like, okay.
Once you see it.
Yeah, you're like, okay, like, this I can do. This, it was a good idea, but it doesn't really fit in with what I
Didn't
want.
make the-
But it was still a great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll throw it over here. Maybe it'll come back up, you know? But I really write everything down. I write down, I think I take the time every year to say, okay, what do I want a Mama What Day to look like? Because it changes.
Yeah.
Like, my end goal and my overall goal will always stay the same, is to create a safe space for people to talk, to bridge a gap between millennials and the world. But how I go about doing that looks different.
Yes.
So I always want to write it down and see, okay, how am I feeling this year about my podcast? What I want to release. And then I just, whatever fits into that is what I do. Like, filming a documentary was very different. I didn't know that I was going to do it until I wanted to do it. It was something that was in my head from the past. It's like, you know, maybe I'll do a documentary. Do I want to do a documentary? Why do I think I should be doing a documentary?
Yeah.
But then when I started about season 4, I was like, I'm going to make a documentary about my life and my podcast and how it got started. And so that's what I did. So I think just, like, setting yourself up from the very beginning.
Yeah. I think a big thing that to keep in mind is, like, you can do literally whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
There shouldn't ever be a question of, oh, but I'm not famous. Why would I make a documentary about myself? And, like, all this different bullshit train of thought. Those are literally just resistance.
Yeah.
Like, that's resistance talking. Because if you, like, you need to know that you have the power.
Yeah.
Right? And you can do whatever you want to do because if you are creating at first and foremost for yourself. So why would you judge what other people will think about it if you're creating it for yourself? Like, I think doing a documentary is a cool ass fucking idea.
It's so good.
It's
like,
so
I'm excited
cool.
for you guys to see
Hell
it.
yeah.
I watched it through it and I'm like, this is, like, so good, Akelee.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're so fascinating.
Exactly.
Yeah! Yes.
She's like,
Like,
literally,
it's so
I'll
good.
rewind.
If you're not your own fucking like number one fan, who the fuck is?
Exactly.
Like I say this to my therapist all the time. I don't give a fuck if my parents don't think I'm cool. I think I'm the shit. Like
BFFR.
I
Be
really
fucking for real.
please be fucking for real.
Amen.
So yeah, I'm excited.
That's
though.
super
Good.
exciting,
I'm
and
excited.
I honor you and I praise you because
Thank
one
you.
thing that I see every time I see you, you're just so sure of yourself, and that's something that I really, really look up to as someone that kind of like suffers from BPD and kind of like picks up people's personalities to trait them as my own, not on purpose, sometimes just by mistake. Every time I see you, you always have this like. Once again, you're a femdom, period. You're very dominant and you know what you want. And it's like, you're just so sure of yourself. And anything that you do, you don't put a little bit. You're like, oh no, we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I love seeing you thrive.
Hell
mean
yeah.
it.
And your
I
future
really
is
mean
so
it.
bright, bitch.
Thank you.
Literally so bright.
I love seeing y'all thrive and how much y'all have grown.
We're shy.
Yeah.
And your energy.
But
No,
we
I'm
are
just kidding.
shy.
And your investment.
Literally.
Yes.
Y'all are killing it.
Bitch,
Y'all
I
inspire me.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to hire a social media manager.
Yes.
Like, for real. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay
Yes. All right, bitch. So to end the
Amen.
fucking podcast, we're getting into our Quit That Shit, a segment on the podcast where we tell each other what we're trying to let go of that's no longer serving us. And so by saying it out loud, we're holding each other accountable and we're holding ourselves accountable.
I love that.
And we be checking up on that shit and whatever. And the one time I said I'm gonna quit dairy, I'm gonna tell you right now, I did not. I did quit it for like a week, bitch. And then I started popping lactates again because I wanted to eat ice cream. But I am like choosing more milk-free options when I go out, so I guess that's better.
Love that. All right, Akelee,
Balance.
what shit are you trying to quit?
What shit am I quitting? I'm quitting self-doubt.
Okay.
Because if I want to do something, I have the power to do it.
What are you combating the self-doubt with?
What am I
Like, what's your one tool that you always use?
my reality.
Ooh.
Yes. My
Don't make
reality.
me cry now. I
Because if I want to do something, odds are I already have the tools to do it.
Yeah, bitch.
So why am I even telling myself that I can't do it?
Exactly.
If I'm already equipped.
Exactly.
So yes, I'm definitely quitting self-doubt.
I love it.
And that's where I'm gonna leave it. Self-doubt.
If there's a will, there's a way, bitch.
Yeah.
You just need to have that will.
And you have it.
Exactly.
Just do it like Nike.
Yeah.
Set a date.
Oh
like
my
Nike
god, I have a
says.
sweater that says just don't with an upside down Nike mark. But just do it. Just do it. What is you quitting, Shadi?
It's something like super, super basic, but fried food.
It's not basic.
Why?
Because I do it too much. Throughout the week, the amount of fried food that I'm consuming, I feel like I'm just going to the gym to kind of keep the body that I have rather than trying to build. So I've just been eating, but living with my mom, it's like everything's fried. So yeah, just fried food. Trying to take care and watch what I intake. So I meal prep again.
Okay.
I'm that bitch, yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, be sure.
Okay.
Be
She said
scared.
very buff
Be
mother. Bitch,
scared.
I'm a mother.
Bitch, by my birthday, I'm gonna be ripped. Just wait for it.
Alright, tune back in April 17, baby.
Aw, I'm gonna cry.
And I don't remember nobody's shit.
I
At all,
know.
ever.
We're literally like in love. Okay, but go ahead. What are you quitting, Shadi?
I am quitting. Honestly, I need to quit hot Cheetos.
Ooh.
Because, like, hot Cheetos is my fucking, like, like, especially the baked ones. Are you
Ooh.
fucking kidding me?
They're
Oh my God.
They're less fat.
But, okay, but, like, the thing is, like, first of all, processed cheese. Second of all, fucking hot, spicy processed cheese. Third of all, I be eating it when I'm high, so you know I'm going through the bag.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, it does not look great in the morning because I get so bloated off of like the things that I like consume that is not great for me, like obviously, but like I get so fucking bloated. It takes like days and weeks to go away.
Yeah.
And I know that it's from me fucking downing bags of family size hot Cheetos at night when I'm fucking stony baloney.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Aw, so
I
can
will quit hot
definitely relate to
Cheetos.
that.
I'm finishing this last bag. And then after
she
that,
got
no
home.
more.
Don't what she got at home.
Yes.
But you gotta go somewhere. She already got it.
No,
So
for
it's
sure.
like-
I deadass don't buy snacks because of that reason. Because I know that I go through it like insane. So I literally on purpose starve myself at my house.
This was so refreshing. You have no idea. Thank you so much, Akelee, for being on.
Thank you guys
Yes.
for having me.
With your very buff mother.
Yes.
I love you guys.
We love you, and we're very grateful. And please tell the people where they can keep up with you so they can watch the documentary, keep up with the moment of A.
Yes.
Tell us all.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at a moment with A.
Yes.
Get with her or get lost. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. And you can find us on our social media. Facebook is Mental Chillness. Instagram is mentalchillness.podcast. TikTok is Mental Chillness 11. We are on YouTube at Mental Chillness. What else is there?
And your Instagram.
Oh yeah, and I am Megacon, baby.
And I am Lots of Jewels.
With 2 S's.
Yes, ma'am. And we are
Yes.
out of here, guys.
Yes,
Thank
bye.
so much
You
for
have a
tuning
great
in.
day. Bye.